Hi and welcome to this week's video where we journey back in time to an era when the land, now known as England, was divided into small kingdoms. In the heart of the Anglo-Saxon England known as Wessex, communities came together to build strongholds. These were known as burhs, the backbone of their defence against external threats. The concept of these burhs emerged during the 9th century, during a turbulent time when Vikings' invasions were a constant menace. Viking raiders, known for their swift and brutal attacks, made the Anglo-Saxons realise the need for fortified defences. Burhs were carefully planned and constructed communities with walls, ditches and watchtowers. They provided a safe haven for the inhabitants. These were strategically located, often along major trade routes and rivers. They served multiple purposes. They were not only defensive fortifications but also hubs for social activities. Markets, workshops and homes thrived within these walls. King Alfred the Great, who was king of the West Saxons from 871 to 886, and was then king of the Anglo-Saxons from 886 until his death in 899, is often credited with the fortifications of these burh systems. His reforms ensured the constructions of the burhs and equipped them with garrisons and established a system of local defences. Under Alfred's guidance, the Anglo-Saxon kingdom united to defend their realms against Viking invaders. Cricklade, now a very charming English market town, was once one of these burhs, which there was, at some point, around 30 burhs in total. A feature of this system was that at no point in Wessex was intended to be more than 20 miles from each other. Cricklade is often referred to as the first town of the River Thames, as it is situated near the source of the Thames, which is the longest river in England. Cricklade was originally established in the 9th century. The town's strategic location on the bank of the River Thames made it a significant trade and hub during the medieval times, plus the Roman road known as Ermine Street runs close by. Cricklade also became home of the Royal Mint from 979 to around 1100. Sadly, the original Saxon ramparts laid out in a square around the town are no longer visible. Some have suggested that the reason the town was in a square form is that they may have been a Roman settlement before the Saxons arrived, as Roman artefacts have been found which could indicate a possible settlement which would be temporary, which would make sense due to the location of the Roman road and it crossing the River Thames. If you follow the heritage trail for Cricklade, it does lead you to an open area where the walls of the Saxon town once were. I would highly recommend doing the heritage trail, as I feel this is perhaps the best trail I have seen, with some of the information boards as you're going around, and perhaps one of the best signs I've ever seen. Despite these defences being in place, there is mention that King Canute may have succeeded in attacking Cricklade in 1016. It seems that there is mention in the Anglo-Saxon chronicles that Canute arrived with 160 ships crossing the Thames into Mercia at Cricklade. With such an important town during the Saxon times, it would be no surprise that there has been a church standing on this site since 973. St Sampson's Church we see today dates from the 12th century, but there is fragments of the Anglo-Saxon church within. A service was being held in the church on the day I visited, so couldn't go inside, but this is a very impressive church from the outside. Small amounts of Anglo-Saxon stonework survive in the present church, in particular the south wall of the nave. Parts of the north side of the church was added in the 12th century, while the south part of the church was remodelled in the 13th century. The chancel is 13th century, remodelled in the 14th and 15th century. The tower was begun in the early 16th century. This 14th century cross was moved from the High Street to the churchyard in the early 19th century. From 1139, Wiltshire was the scene of conflict between forces of Empress Matilda and King Stephen. It was recorded that in 1144 William of Dover, a supporter of the Empress, went to Cricklade and took possession and built a castle here. If there was a castle here, it's not here anymore. Some people have suggested that the castle may have stood at Castle Eaton, which isn't that far away. Some have also suggested that rather than building a new castle, William in fact strengthened the stone walls around the town to provide a defence prominent enough to be called a castle. Walking down the High Street, I couldn't help but wonder what happened, or where in Cricklade the Swindon Stone Row ended up. For those who don't know, and I will add the video to the area, A.D. Passmore wrote notes about the lost stone circles of Swindon. Aubrey wrote an article published in 2004 by Wiltshire Archaeological and Natural History magazine about Passmore's notes. In this article it is mentioned that the stone row of Swindon was broken up and taken to Cricklade. The stones were used to form the base of the roads and footpaths of Cricklade. If this is true, then Cricklade may not have any Neolithic or Bronze Age monuments, but there is a chance that every step walking here you would well be connected to the remains of a once stone row monument. As you walk down the High Street, you will soon come across St Mary's Church, a small and beautiful church which is situated just inside the Saxon town wall. It is unsure when the first church stood here. Some have suggested a possible chapel rather than a church in the Saxon times. There was definitely a Norman church here at some point, as an archway is dated to around 1120 to 1150. Evidence found during restoration indicates that the early church was burnt down and rebuilt in the Norman style of the mid to late 12th century. The history to this town is long, including a priory, a hospital of St John the Baptist founded as a guest house for the poor wayfarer. More modern day history like canals and railways both are no longer used. I found a really good timeline of the town by the Wiltshire Gov website, which I'll add a link to below. As we conclude our brief look at Cricklade's history, as there is so much more than I can add to one video, let us remember that every brick, every cobblestone, every story told here is a testament to the resilience and spirit of the community that has stood the test of time. As we look back at the milestones and everyday moments that have shaped this town, let us also look forward with hope and optimism for the chapters yet to be written. In the tapestry of time, this beautiful town's history is but a thread woven into the broader fabric of our shared human experience. Let it serve a reminder that the echoes of the past reverberate in the present, guiding us towards a future where the stories we tell today become the history of tomorrow. Before I go, I would like to say a big thank you to the viewers and subscribers of the channel, to the Patreons and those who have bought me coffee. This channel wouldn't be the same without you. Your support has made it all worthwhile, and I'm grateful beyond words. So if you're new here, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Also click that notification bell so you'll never miss an update. Until the next time, stay safe.